Welcome everyone to our Azure video series. My name is John Megling. I'm the Senior System Engineer for Microsoft in the Azure products that take data. And today we'll be talking about the Azure File Service, better known as Azure Files. Let's first briefly talk about Azure Files. They help moving to the cloud easier than you might think. Azure Files is based on the SMB protocol, which helps you migrate your data to Azure File Storage, and even your previous and packaged applications can access it without code changes, which is a big deal. Just lift and shift without worrying about file server dependencies, and securely mount storage from anywhere using the SMB 3.0 encryption. We support both Windows and Linux, and Azure Files can be accessed either on-premise or in the cloud. Azure Files can be managed from the Azure portal, PowerShell, or File Explorer. Now let's take a look at how to set up and use Azure Files. Go ahead and get started here in the Azure portal. First we're going to hit New, and then we're going to be working out of the Storage tab. And first thing we're going to have to do is create a storage account. In order to do this, go ahead and click that, and we need to name that. And we're going to use the Resource Manager model, the classic model, again, is for the old ASM portal. So once we have our name, again, we're going to use Resource Manager, and we're going to do general purpose for what we're doing. We can choose standard or premium disks. This gives you an idea of some of the differences. So if we go premium, we're going to have the locally redundant storage option. If we go the standard hard drives, then we can actually do geo-redundant storage. So we're going to go ahead and pick that. And if we want to encrypt it, we can go ahead and enable that. For this demo, I'm not going to encrypt that. And you want to make sure your subscription is correct, that you're putting it in. We can create a new resource group, or we can use an existing one. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and create a new resource group. And in my case, it's the East US. You want to pick the location that you're actually creating the resource in. We're going to pin that to the dashboard and go ahead and hit create there. And it's going to create our storage account. Notice it's in progress and it's deploying it to our dashboard. And we're done. And now we have this new storage account. Go ahead and click that storage account and get in there. And you'll see there's 4 different types of storage we can deal with here: blobs, files, tables, and queues. Shows us our name, a roll-up of where it's located, and all that good stuff we saw before. And shows us that we're geo-redundant. We're going to go ahead and hit the Files section, which is what we're talking about today, Azure Files. Again, a roll-up of what's going on with the storage account. We're going to create a new file share. I'm going to go ahead and name that. And we want to look at the quota for that and decide how big we want it to be as soon as we get the name right there. So we can go up to basically 5 terabytes. We'll go ahead and create a 100 gig drive. And then there's our share and our name. Notice it's created. We'll go ahead and click into that and take a look. And notice we have some options up at the top. We're going to go ahead and hit the Add Directory option. We're going to go ahead and give that a name. Notice there's several options up there, and we're kind of go over each of these different options, but we got our name in there. We're going to go hit OK and create that directory. Notice there's our directory, and let's hit connect just to take a look. And here's our net use command, both Windows based and Linux based. That way we can use the actual share. Then we're going to upload some files into that directory. And we'll just pick a couple files here that I have on this specific machine. So we've got our files. We'll go ahead and do that, and we'll hit upload and upload those. And there's our files. And we're all good there. If you wanted to upload more, you definitely could, and you just file and upload them and they'll show up. We'll go back and look at our storage again, and we're going to need this default key, this access key, in order to create our commands to actually connect to the share from our virtual machine. In this case, it's a virtual machine that's in Azure, or it could actually be a server on site or a client workstation. So this is just showing you the commands we're going to be using today. First, we want to persist our storage account credentials for, in this case, this Azure virtual machine, and we'll do that with this specific command. And then we want to mount the share. And we're going to do this from PowerShell. Let's take a look at those commands just so you can get it. We'll go ahead and launch PowerShell. And then I've got these commands already loaded up in a file, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that file. Again, the first command basically is going to persist our account credentials. That way we don't have to enter credentials every time we log in or mount a share or something like that. It's going to make them persistent on this machine. This is just a look again at the command. I notice the big thing in this command is we got to go out and get that key. I showed you the key earlier. We'll go ahead and look at it again here. Grab that key. We also want to make note of what the name needs to be for our store, which is what I showed just a second ago. Now we're going to go ahead and grab that key. Go ahead and copy that. And we need to replace the example with our key. And then we're going to go ahead and run that specific line, our command. And we've added our credentials in a successful manner. Next thing we want to do is actually mount the file share using those credentials that we just put in. And it's going to be a fairly simple net use command that we're going to be using here. Again, we can use this command on clients or servers. In this example, we're using it on a server to grab this share. So now we want to go ahead and check those names. We hit the file section. We notice our actual share there. And we have our storage account. So we're going to go ahead and make sure those are populated correctly in our PowerShell so that we can go ahead and run that command. Yep, double check it. Looks like I didn't have it quite right that first time. And there we go. Now we're going to go take a look at our shares. And there's our new share that we created using Azure Files, which is pretty cool. We can go ahead and browse into that. Notice our directory that's created there and our files that we uploaded earlier. So with that, that's the session for today.